Let's see the.
John, when we go during the this is a dry
Okay, it's on.
So Mark Talmadge, please tell us about your experience selling your unit at La Club.
Which unit?
Unit 406.
Sorry. Would you like to go first?
No, it was a wonderful experience. After trying to sell it ourselves for a couple of years, in just a few weeks, we had more showings than we had in the previous 9 months. Much more traffic. I felt like the apartment was presented in a very professional way. I also got the impression that the potential buyers were very comfortable with Eileen and listened to her. You could tell they were taking her seriously, which you don't always see with other realtors. And it was a wonderful experience. Even up through the closing. Right before that, we were in and out of the country, and I think Eileen did a wonderful job of making the buyer comfortable with the purchase and with the situation, and for lack of a better word, babysitting the deal to closure. And it went very smoothly and it went very well. And she absolutely found us the right buyer for our property.
Right. Well, we have, as you know, we have our own real estate brokerage firm that specializes in investment properties for investors. We always represent the buyer, and we put in the multiple listing service like all the other brokers and expected it to sell in 6 months, and 9 months, and 12 months, and 16 months, and 18 months. we decided that we needed a professional to sell our house. And so we've known Eileen for a long time, and actually that, for me, was a hard thing to hire someone that we knew to be our broker, because it's hard to hire a friend. But then when we sat down and we realized that this was a very, very professional, not only person but organization that was dealing with the internet and dealing with all the things that my firm doesn't deal with as buyer brokers, that we found that to be the perfect solution. And it worked, because when we had in the first 3 weeks more showings than we had in 9 months. We had buyers, 2 different buyers who were interested, and when we were leaving to go out of the country, the negotiations were occurring while we were on an airplane. And when we landed, we had a contract. So it was a very positive experience, almost perfect, in that it sold quickly for a number that was in the ballpark of what we were looking for, in a very, very difficult market. We had been on the market at the tail end of a really up market and rode it all the way down. But we were able to get a number that was good and sufficient, and the closing was simple, and both the Coldwell Banker and Eileen's own organization managed that process for us. We really didn't have to be involved, and our attorneys weren't involved, and it was simple and fast, and everybody had a positive experience.
Mark, were you satisfied with the day-to-day dealings with the attorney and the services that we gave to actually nail down all of the paperwork, all of the things that you needed so that you had a smooth closing?
Absolutely. Well, the closing process was simpler in this transaction because we really didn't have to deal much with the lawyers. We dealt with the real estate people. We dealt with Eileen. And so we really didn't have to deal with attorneys much. We got all the information from Eileen, and it was a simple process. I never had to even call, because even if we were traveling, we got updates regularly about the process, what the next step was. We expect us an email or whatever, and it never was an issue. So we never had anything to worry about. And actually, you get kind of, what's the right word? You expect this to happen all the time, and it isn't the case anymore. When you talk to other people about their transactions, and they have to manage them themselves. We didn't have to do that.
I think something that was very important for me, I mentioned this before, was just the fact that obviously the potential buyers seemed to be very comfortable with Eileen and comfortable asking questions, believing her responses. I think she has probably a little higher level of credibility with them than I had seen with other brokers.
Probably a lot higher. Yeah. Because we do a lot of purchases, and we see a lot of seller brokers, and the reason we've selected Eileen is because of the professionalism and the level of expertise. And just the marketing materials and the basic things that are shown to the buyer were superior to the other people that we had spoken to. And we had spoken to several, and a lot of people wanted to take the listing, people that we know and have done business with. And so this was the thing that made it, for me, was the specific marketing materials that are presented to each buyer who comes to look, as well as the internet presence that really drives the real estate market today.
Great, thank you very much.
Is that it?
Good, yeah, I
We
think it was
dance.
perfect. John, how do we see the work?
You have to edit.
Yeah, yeah.
I understand.
But that